Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Mitch and I'll be your host today. First of all, I want to just wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope you ate way too much food, had multiple hangovers in the one day, and had an early sleep like I did, being a dad of three. Had a nice early afternoon nap. Somewhere in the world, it is still actually Christmas. However, in Australia, it is Boxing Day, and I've been just catching up on news and seeing what is going on in the crypto space. And I've got two very polar opposite topics to discuss in today's video. One of those being Bitcoin hits the all-time high of $25,000, as well as the SEC versus Ripple debacle. So I'm going to be doing a deep dive into both of them. But before I do, I want to just take a minute to hear from one of our sponsors.
Okay, before we start the video, I want to just talk about one of our sponsors, Max Wright. He's actually putting together a webinar training which is going to teach you how to invest $5,000 wisely today that can give you a passive income of $100,000 per year or more in as little as 18 months. So this is an invitation-only webinar that he will be sharing all of this info with you. I'll put a link to the webinar underneath this video, as well as it's go.doubleclick.com/MaxWright. Max has been calling different Bitcoin cycles for the last 6 or 7 years. I've personally known him for about 13 years now, since I was about 20 years old. I'm 33 now, and he's a solid guy. He's super knowledgeable. He's got great insights into the cryptocurrency market, and he's really in this for the long term. He's also a great person to find different ways to make money both online and offline. So I'd strongly recommend sign up to this webinar, take the time, watch it. You will get massive amounts of value from Max. And for those of you who've been watching some of the videos previously, you would have seen his insights into BTC and why he feels like this is going to be at least $100,000 BTC in the next 12 to 18 months. So go ahead, register now, and let me know in the comments what you thought of the webinar.
Okay, so as I mentioned, BTC has hit the 25,000 US dollar mark, an all-time high milestone, and I'm going to be discussing this in great detail in this video. And I'm also going to be diving deeply into the SEC Ripple situation. Now, before I get started, let's just jump into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin hits an all-time high of $25,000, and it's just surpassed the market cap of Visa, doing 460.06 billion, which is absolutely crazy. Bitcoin is, the market cap as a whole is bigger than the 13th biggest company in the entire world, which is phenomenal. And Apple's been the largest company there at $2.244 trillion, which I'm hoping, at least in the next 12 to 18 months, that BTC actually overtakes that and 10x's from here, which would make it a $4 trillion market cap. So again, another very historic day. I keep feeling like there's going to be a hell of a lot of pullback on the cryptocurrency market on BTC, but it just keeps finding steam, and the order books are very thin when it comes to sellers. Like, there is just so many more buyers than there are sellers, which is ultimately what's pushing the price up. So very exciting, very exciting. If you haven't read this article from Cointelegraph, I strongly recommend going and giving it a good read. So I've watched a few different videos today, and I've also read a number of different articles about the SEC charging Ripple. And in a nutshell, it's not good. It's really not good. And I know that there's quite a few people that follow my channel that are big Ripple supporters. I'm not here to bash you guys or to put you down or anything. I'm literally looking at this completely unbiased. Roel Paul kind of said it the best, and that is he likes to come to his own conclusions from learning himself as to why a coin is good, bad, or just neutral. And I've done a lot of deep dive into Ripple in the last 24 hours and found that there's a lot of things that they've done to line their pockets. The two founders, Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse, they're essentially being charged by the SEC for selling unregistered securities. And the basic way that the SEC deems if something's a security or not is using something called the Howey test. And I hate to say it, but XRP failed the Howey test with flying colors. So there's a lot of things that the SEC is alleging, from collusion with different exchanges. For like a lot of the people that are using XRP are being their palms being greased to use it or to adopt it, whereas there's not a lot of use case for the cryptocurrency XRP, and they're just kind of really getting people to use it by bribing them or whatnot. So I started making notes of a video on the Bitcoin for Beginners channel, and I realized that he just sums it up so well. I've added my part in the start of this video, and what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to cut to a snippet from his video, and I'm also going to link to his channel as well as his actual video. But he just sums it up so well. So he's a really one to deep dive into everything and really look at everything in great detail. So let's cut to that footage. And the one thing I will say before we cut to that footage is that unlike EOS and Kick, which were, as well as Telegram, which were also attacked by the SEC, EOS, which for those of you who have been around the channel for a long time, you know I'm a big supporter of. Kick tokens I'm also a supporter of. Telegram, I had friends in that ICO, but they haven't actually made anything from it, and because that got completely shut down, and all the funds have been returned. But with EOS, they settled with the SEC, paid like $30 million, and with Kick, they raised I think 100 million and paid about 5 million to the SEC. EOS raised a few billion and paid like 30 million. But the interesting thing is the two executives from Ripple believe that they haven't done anything wrong, and they chose to not settle privately with the SEC, and they wanted to go ahead full ball and fight. So I think that may be the nail in the coffin. Generally, when it comes to government bodies, especially US government bodies like the SEC, they're going to do everything they can to put your nail in the coffin. So I'll jump into the Bitcoin for Beginners video now, and you can have a look for yourself.
Alright folks, I hate to gloat, but I called it 2 years ago when I made this video right here, and many XRP army members attacked me for sharing my honest thoughts. But of course, it's never fun to see people suffer, as XRP dropped 50+% in price in the past few days, and I know a lot of y'all had money riding in XRP, so I feel you. In this video, I'm gonna dive super deep in the recent SEC suit against Ripple and its implications, and I won't just regurgitate the headlines back to you like other channels do, but no, I've read much of the 71 pages in the SEC text, and I will break down the key points for you. So hopefully with this video, you can make your own decision of whether to hold or sell, or maybe even buy some more. Welcome back to Bitcoin for Beginners. I'm your host, Kevin, and in this channel, we're all about deep and thorough research with no frills nor fluff. We come up with video ideas from listening to you guys in our community. Okay, so it's been a whirlwind these past few days. First, Ripple started out by preempting the whole ordeal with their own announcement on December 21st. But then the SEC came out and publicly announced their suit and filed against them on December 22nd. Since then, prices started to drop from 55 cents per XRP to 26 cents, which is a 53% drop in just 2 days. Now, there's been a lot of buzz and rampant speculation about what will happen, a lot of it being unfounded rumors. So let's take a look at what we do know. First, the case against Ripple really lies on two main points. One, the SEC claims that Ripple violated the Securities Act of 1933 when they sold XRP without registering first. Two, the Ripple executives, Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse, specifically and knowingly helped break those laws multiple times. They claim that XRP was and still is an unregistered security, and that all the recent sellings of it is a continual violation. This could be devastating because if the courts end up ruling that XRP is a security, then it's dead on arrival. It's also notable that the SEC claims that there are present-day violations too. Usually they only claim past actions, but in this case, they claim past and present. It's also super notable that 2 executives are personally named in the suit. That doesn't usually happen that often in these suits. It's usually just the corporate entity. And based on their analysis in their filing, the SEC has always saw Ripple and XRP intertwined and as one entity. This goes against Ripple's own argument that XRP can exist without Ripple, and that XRP was gifted to the Ripple team from the open source developers who created it in the first place. Some reasons why they think XRP is a security. Well, the XRP distribution was super centralized. Ripple held a massive percentage of XRP and even set up an escrow to periodically sell from 2013 to 2019. Ripple has sold hundreds of millions of dollars worth of XRP throughout the years, and the SEC clearly outlines each of those sales throughout the years down to the penny. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO, also said he was long XRP multiple times in public without disclosing his own sales of it. The executives even discussed pumping the price of XRP so they could realize the value of their holdings. They did not disclose that they were using these proceeds to pay other companies to utilize XRP and to pay market makers to generate price action as well. They also bribed exchanges to get XRP listed, and they also lied about the nature of their partnership with companies like MoneyGram. They said it wasn't a sweetheart deal, but it actually was. Now, I do want to note that the worst case that could happen here is for Ripple to be charged with securities fraud, which means they lied, misled, and deceived. But the SEC didn't go that far with this filing at least, but they hint at it multiple times without making that actual charge. Now, what were the most shocking points from this filing that I saw? First, that they don't have any real customers. All the partners were either pilots that sputtered, like Western Union, Santander, American Express, or they actually paid them to use XRP or Ripple technology, like MoneyGram, and they wouldn't have otherwise because it was too expensive or it was just not optimal. Because they didn't have any real customers and cash flow coming from that, they sold XRP constantly to fund the other parts of their business and create the illusion that they had a booming business. But their technology like Xcurrent or XVIA didn't even utilize XRP or blockchain technology, and there was no real adoption of those anyways. They also blatantly enabled market manipulation. They intentionally coordinated with market makers to pump the price surrounding news events of Ripple. This sounds like insider trading or pure securities fraud, which is a very serious allegation that goes beyond just the selling of unregistered securities. They were also super harsh against their charges against Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse. These execs got early advice back in 2012 that it was likely a security, but ignored it multiple times and instructed the team to carry on. I'm curious to know how the SEC came across that memo, since that's supposed to be private, right? Chris Larsen sold $450 million worth of XRP, while Brad Garlinghouse sold $150 million. And a big question now is there potential jail time down the line for these two? There's also a lot of bribery going on all across the space. They offered a company $17.5 million to integrate XRP into their systems. They also offered $1 million in cash to an unnamed executive to move the needle on listing XRP. They even tried to unsuccessfully pay a big unnamed exchange to list XRP, and many people wonder if this was Coinbase, since their offices in San Francisco were pretty close together and their employees had a good relationship. Now, what was Ripple's response and defense so far? They said this is not like any other ICO case that the SEC has brought before, and that the SEC has really stretched the definition of the Howey test when filing these charges. They also mentioned that other departments and agencies in the US government like FinCEN or the DOJ said that the XRP was a currency, so because of that, it's not a security. They also said the XRP holders don't share in any profits or of any types of dividends or other types of rights, and that Ripple has separate shareholders for the company itself. They also mentioned that XRP's price is correlated with other crypto coins and not with Ripple's activities, and that Ripple's sales of XRPs only amounted to 0.22% of the overall XRP trading volume during that time span, and that's not a lot. They also wanted to highlight that the suit did not have any fraud or misrepresentation claims, and that Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse could have settled this separately, but they wanted to fight because they think that they're on the side of right and the side of the law. It's also interesting that they took a shot at Jay Clayton, the outgoing SEC chair, saying that this is an assault on the entire crypto industry and it really helps Ethereum and Bitcoin. Those were deemed sufficiently decentralized and not securities. And so they claim that this benefits China at the expense of US companies. So you may be wondering which side is right though. And this will ultimately be decided in court unless Congress decides to stop dragging their feet and creates a new law that clarifies this. I think, honestly though, a fair and balanced analysis shows that the SEC is right in this case. Most people buy XRP expecting to get future profits after all, and that's a common sense definition of what a security is. XRP isn't even used by Ripple for anything else other than selling it. Their own system for cross-border transactions is not optimal for the customers like banks who probably prefer their own foreign exchange desks. XRP is also massively centrally controlled by Ripple, and their website used to include a link on how to buy XRP, which was a smoking gun. They also purposefully misled retail investors on several fronts, like stated earlier, and that's not a good look. So you may be wondering what's next, right? Well, first there may be more harsh suits coming on the way, because they didn't go as far in this time to charge with securities fraud, which is 10b-5, formerly known as the employment of manipulative and deceptive practices. But these charges may come later, or the SEC may just be letting another agency like the DOJ, for example, prosecute that. Lawyers have been speculating that they might have been just setting the stage for those later suits with this initial filing. Another big thing on the horizon is delisting from centralized exchanges, especially in the United States. People said that they're all probably frantically calling with their lawyers, talking about what they should do with Ripple, if they should delist it. After all, the SEC does have the right to go after marketplaces that do list unregistered securities and enable those sales. Already there are rumors swirling that Coinbase will delist in the next couple of days. So we'll see very soon, maybe even by the time you're watching this video, if that's the case. On the other hand, Ripple might get off easily and just settle. Remember when Kik launched a $100 million token sale for Kin, and the SEC sued them too, but essentially all they had to do was pay a $5 million fine. They didn't have to register Kin tokens as securities, and there's no trading restrictions as well, so you can still trade Kin on various exchanges to this day. But it did batter the Kin token price immensely though. At its highest point in 2018, it had a $1 billion market cap and it dropped all the way down to 10 million at its lowest point. On the other hand, maybe Ripple will fight back and win because government agencies don't always get it right. Most corporations just don't fight it because they don't want to go through the hassle of it. But sometimes the courts do rule in the favor of defendants, like in the case of Monex, a precious metals business. The judge initially ruled against the CFTC, but then that was appealed later. Either way, it seems like they are in for a long, protracted fight because Ripple has a huge war chest, billions of dollars to utilize. They've already used it to hire top stars in the past, like former SEC chair Mary Jo White represented them before. Also, Benjamin Lawsky is on their board. He created the Bit license in New York, and he was also a former AUSA in the Southern District of New York. In the past few days, former SEC chair Joseph Grunfest also sent a letter to Jay Clayton saying that this would harm XRP holders who are innocent in the whole ordeal and that he does not recommend him to do this and take this action at this time. Now, I do want to note that Joseph Grunfest is an unpaid advisor to Ripple as well, but the point is they have all of these superstar legal advisors on their board or retained as legal counsel, so they have a lot of firepower to fight back. But ultimately, even these best lawyers can't save them if the courts come to the conclusion that XRP is a security. And on that note, don't forget the separate class action lawsuit that was initiated a couple years ago by former XRP investors. And the California court allowed it to continue even though Ripple was moving to get it dismissed. And the court noted several interesting points that all hinted at their view that the XRP token was indeed a security. And the outcome of this case is an existential threat to Ripple and XRP as well. Alright, that was a long one, but I hope it was filled with detail for you that you didn't get in other news videos. My final thoughts, that this could drag down many altcoins for a long time because of the overall uncertainty of this case. It shouldn't affect Bitcoin though, or Ethereum, because those are sufficiently decentralized and the SEC has come out and say that already. I do want to note that other projects have registered with the SEC properly, like Blockstack or Nexo, for example, so that long term, these don't have anything to worry about. It's also interesting to see a wide range of reactions from the community. You have some people supporting Ripple, like CZ from Binance and Justin Sun, and other people saying that they told you so, like Tone Vase. And lastly, other people who hate Ripple but stand with them because they don't want government overreach and they want to let the crypto space self-police instead. For example, Ryan Selkis, the CEO of Masari. I tend to think after reflecting that they don't deserve our support in the crypto space because they did so many things to enrich themselves at the detriment of retail investors. They also misled us several times while telling the bigger whales the truth in private that XRP didn't have any real use case beyond speculation.
Okay, so as I mentioned, he is super, super insightful. He actually summed up everything that I wanted to talk about better than I could. So I felt that I wasn't giving it justice by taking notes from him and other videos and then reverberating that back to you. I felt that it'd be better just to hear it from the horse's mouth. So what is your take on it? What do you believe is going to happen with Ripple? Again, I've purposely gone out of my way to make this a very neutral video. I see those people who have been involved in Ripple, and I don't wish for them to lose money. I don't wish for the token to go down or to die completely. That's not what this is about. This is purely about there's a lot of allegations from the SEC. Ripple's executives haven't really combated those allegations very well, and those who are heavily invested or even just a little bit invested in XRP are in for a very wild ride in months to come. So how are you protecting yourself? How are you hedging against this risk? Because the reality is you don't know how the market's going to continue to react. Are you buying more? Are you selling? Are you just holding? What is it that you're doing with all of this news that's going on? And yeah, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And just before I go, I just want to talk about another one of our sponsors, which is BlockFi. BlockFi is a great platform that allows you to borrow against your cryptocurrency so you don't actually have to sell it. And I'll just jump in and give you a little quick overview.
You've got the ability to put your crypto to work with BlockFi and earn up to 8.6% per annum with your interest account. Now, if you sign up today, you get up to a $250 crypto bonus with a deposit of $25 or more. This is really cool. If you're wanting to earn some interest on your cryptocurrency or just get some more crypto, this is a great way to do this. I also mentioned if you are looking to borrow against your cryptocurrency, they allow you to do that. They charge you a very low interest rate of 4.5%. They will lend up to 50% of your cryptocurrency. So if you got $10,000, they will lend you up to $5,000 at a 4.5% interest rate, which is essentially in Australia what you are paying for a mortgage for a house, which is just absolutely crazy. And the loan is for 12 months. They're also backed by some of the biggest names in cryptocurrency: Morgan Creek Capital Management, Coinbase Ventures, Galaxy Digital, the Winklevoss Capital, and a few other ones that I can't pronounce.
Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed my insights. If you have any suggestions, questions, or comments, please leave them below. Give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whether you like it or not. Preferably a thumbs up, as I've tried really hard to be neutral in this topic, because I know a lot of you who follow me are heavily invested in Ripple. And yeah, I hope that it all comes out positively for everyone. And I also hope that BTC keeps climbing. The reality is what goes up must cool down or at least pull back a little bit. So we might get all the way to 30K before we see that 30 to 35% pullback that I've been talking about for multiple videos. So that's it from me. I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a great night. Have a great day wherever you are in the world.